You know, I never thought that we'd be here right now. But considering that this is the third video that I'm doing on this, I might as well make this a series. If you guys are completely unaware of what this series is, I highly suggest you watch Theorizes Dreamworks Mort Theory. All 23 videos in that playlist, because these now 3 videos that are being made by me piggyback off of that in an attempt to further explore just some of the connections and weird shit that's going on with all the Dreamworks movies here. I've made a channel in my Discord server, actually, where me and someone named Bandit's Poison, who, by the way, thank you so much for helping me out with getting more connections down. We've made a couple of discoveries, and I want to just sort of detail them here, and I will leave a link to my Discord down below so that you too can join in on the Dreamworks Theorizing craziness here. So let me just open up Discord on my phone, because we have a couple of things here. So, it started with Madness Poison introducing the idea that Rumpelstiltskin, after his defeat, became Mort's tycoon persona, which actually makes sense in a way. I have not seen Shrek 4, but judging from Rumpel's character and how he acts, I wouldn't be too surprised if Rumpel turned into Mort's tycoon persona, because they're both manipulators, they're both masterful manipulators. They know what the fuck they're doing. So there's kind of a connection there. Again, I'd have to watch Shrek 4 to sort of get a better idea of what the connection is there. But that was the first thing. The next thing that I did is that I introduced a clip from Shark Tale. That is of Frankie, one of the sharks that are affiliated with Lenny, being killed by a anchor. Basically what happens here is Frankie wants Lenny to eat Oscar. Lenny doesn't eat Oscar. Frankie goes out to Oscar. Oscar runs away, and when you know what, an anchor comes up in the sky and kills Frankie. Could be nothing, but yet again, an anchor comes from a boat run by humans, so maybe there's a bit of a connection there. Something's going on here. Something is a little weird. Don't quite know what that is yet, but something is weird there with humans trying to kill sharks. Maybe it wasn't an accident, maybe it was on purpose. Once again, the sharks are sentient and intelligent, and as we know, most of the humans in this Dreamworks world are tasked with eliminating any animals and subduing them if they get too intelligent. So, I mean, it's not out of the question that a human could have predicted that Frankie was under that, but I don't know. Could be nothing. Then Madness Poison introduced the idea of that in the Rise of the Guardians, the Easter Bunny is an anthro rabbit, and the tooth fairies are implied to be anthro hummingbirds, which is very interesting to me, because that would imply that the feet aren't always attacking sentient animals. Because the Easter Bunny is a sentient bunny, is an anthro bunny, intelligent bunny, so, I mean, we don't know what's happening there, although the villain of that movie is trying to subdue the Rise of the Guardians, including the Easter Bunny. So, interesting. That is very, very interesting, although I mean, maybe, I'm trying to think, if Mort is kind of like pitch black in that movie, or whatever the villain's name is, then wouldn't he, I don't know, it's all fuzzy to me. There's some stuff here that isn't quite making sense, but there's some stuff that is making sense. And if you join my Discord server, we can work on kind of like connecting these threads more clearly and trying to formulate an idea of what is happening. But that's the next one. Then, Madness Poison introduces the movie The Prince of Egypt, which I have not seen, but apparently it has a lot of damning evidence and connections to all the DreamWorks movies, because it's like one of the first movies that DreamWorks made. It's a Bible movie about one of the 10 plagues, which is interesting. Very, very interesting. Because Mort shows signs of probably all the plagues. So, that's very, very interesting. And it takes place in Egypt. It probably takes place in a time where Mort was still with the Sky Gods again, like we said. Again, I don't know this movie, but I'm gonna watch this movie in a little bit, or after this. Then I'll come back and tell my thoughts right here. But then, the Egypt also is referenced in the Peabody movie, where two guys use the god of the sun and the god of death. The god... Oh my god. We know that Mort is Latin for death. Mort is literally death. He is death, for he is Mort the Lemur. He is Mort the Lemur, for he is death. The fact that in the Peabody and Sherman movie, when they were in Egypt, there was a god of death. Dude, these connections make no sense to be popping up, but they pop up everywhere. And as you're gonna hear later on, we've got a few connections here that is just crazy. Also, I question the canonicity of The Bad Guys, which is also a DreamWorks movie. Most recent DreamWorks movie that was made. I need to watch Bad Guys to see if I can get an idea of what's happening in that movie. Sentient animals, jailed because they're bad, released into the world as an attempt to be good. It sounds like there's something in that movie that is just aching to be discovered in terms of like this whole theory. I have a couple of movies to watch after this, while looking under the guise of this DreamWorks from what there. The meteor in that movie, Madness Poison mentioned, could possibly be a reference to Mouth of the Sicilians, but I have not seen the movie, so I need to watch that scene. Depends on context. If the context is right, maybe that could be a link to Mouth of the Sicilians, but we don't know. Then we questioned the new Puss in Boots movie, which is named Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It's a Shrek spinoff, and The Last Wish got me thinking. Damn it, Fortuna, the fairy godmother. What is happening here? Is the fairy godmother's magic still in play here? Like, what's going on here? I need some water. And then Puss in Boots, the movie, and I'm gonna read this from the wiki, because I pasted the wiki into my Discord server. The premise of the movie. When Puss in Boots learns he has used 8 of his 9 lives, he sets out on a journey to find the mystical last wish and restore the lives he has lost with Kitty Softpaws and his new companion Pero, a therapy dog who was disguised as a cat in Mama Luna's home, all while also escaping new enemies who are trying to hunt him down due to his reputation after the first film. He's seeking a wish for an extra life. If that's not anti-Mort forces, which Madness Poison says, then I don't know what is. Puss is granted an extra life. Sounds like anti-Mort forces are in play. This is venturing out to movies that are not even out yet, and it's crazy. And then Mendes Poison mentions the upcoming Dragon Knight series. Poe and Landsmeer are somewhat more than Mordecus. One's a calm, intelligent Brit, and the other's a Chinese adrenaline junkie. Same with Smart Mort and Mordecus. Smart Mort is like the more calm, like intelligent one, where Mordecus is like the, you know, emperor of the Mortverse. So it makes sense that there would be a bit ties to that. And then I took a book out of the Theorizers book and want to question the canonicity of the short films, because, like Theorizer said, there could be nothing there, but again, there could be something here. I found something in terms of the short films, the Shrek short film, that blew everything out of the water. There is a short film called Thriller Night, or Thriller Nights, whatever it is. It's a Shrek short film. I want you to guess what the short film is, just by the name alone. If you guessed that it is a parody of Michael Jackson's Thriller, you would be right. Because it's literally a short film parody of the song Thriller. And if you've watched the Theorizers video, we know that the music can raise the dead. How? How is this connecting? How is this connecting? It makes no sense. The premise is even crazier. Deceased characters, such as Lord Farquaad, Mongo, Rumpelstiltskin, Fifi, Fairy Godmother, Prince Charming, and King Harold in his frog form appear as zombies. What the fuck is going on? Like, what the actual fuck? This is insane. This is fucking insane. So fucking awesome. Then Mendes posing questions to socialist politics of both France and Russia that can possibly be used. I'm not into politics, so I don't know any of that kind of stuff. And then I mentioned another Shrek short film is The Pig Who Cried Wolf. The Pig Who Cried Wolf. Which is also very damning, because the premise of it is the three little pigs find themselves in trouble when they ignore the warning signs of a new neighbor moving in next door who takes on a ferocious form, get this, during a full moon. Sound familiar? Because if it does sound familiar, that's what the fairy godmother did to Fiona. He cursed her to take on a monstrous form during the night. And, as I just was mentioned, the monster, French. This is crazy. This is actually insane. These should not be happening, but they are. I'm describing it to you right now. It's in my Discord server. And also, Mendes mentions that in the Netflix's Peabody spinoff, there is a French poet that comes onto the stage and predicts an apocalypse. A French poet predicting an apocalypse. Could he be telling the future? Because we know that the apocalypse happens, so maybe this French poet has more to him than we think, and he's actually not only prophet, but is a prophet. Maybe he's a prophet. But I also have not watched the Peabody and Sherman Netflix show. Neither have I watched the movie. But I have a few movies to watch, and let's just keep going now because there's more. Then I mentioned that any French characters could be connected to the Feet, which is, of course, true. Every French character that we've seen so far is part of Feet. So, if any French characters pop up in Dreamworks, that's a Feet member. And then I said we need to question the Puss in Boots show as well, and also still question the candidacy of the short films. There's a lot of short films. I just want to mention that there's also a Turbo spin-off where the Dewey Duck Snail or Skidmark is conspiracy theorists who might be aware of the truths, which is what? Huh? Insane. Then finally yesterday at 6:41 p.m. the Theorizing himself posted a tweet. That means, if we are to assume that King Harold was wearing the traditional king's attire, it makes utterly perfect sense why it was designed to reflect Dama Fortuna's magic. Yeah, it does. Judging from Dama Fortuna's backstory, how she most likely got it on with one of the royals, made Prince Charming, and then was exiled, it's not far-fetched to assume that the traditional king's attire was made to reflect magic. Maybe that was her destiny. Maybe her destiny was to die. Anyway, that was a lot of stuff here. This video is already much longer than the previous two videos combined. I don't know. In the description below, I will have a link to my Discord. You can join it and it'll take you right to the Dreamworks Small TV channel, where you can help us continue on this quest for uncovering even more connections in the Dreamworks timeline and universe. This is the next phase. I hope you guys are ready, because it is gonna get fucking wild. Like I said, link in the description to my Discord server. You can join it and join us in the craziness that is the Dreamworks universe. Later.